My name is Steve Ridgel, and right now I have the unfortunate thing in my life that I'm a Dallas Maverick fan. And we're a laughing stock in the whole NBA, and probably should be. Now, I was a Maverick fan when we had Dirk Nowitzki, so he was great and played 20 years. We won a championship, probably should have won another one. There have been some great times, but right now we're kind of a joke. Yes, let me go ahead and say it. If you don't know anything about basketball, it doesn't matter, but the Mavericks tanked. We absolutely threw away the end of the season to try to save a draft choice. I get that. I'm not sure that was a bad idea. I think probably in the overall scope of trying to build a team, that's probably the right idea, but clearly we tanked. And the NBA is mad about it, and they're going to investigate it, which, of course, is also kind of a joke because we're far from the only team that tanks. I mean, that happens all over sports. The Astros in baseball are a great team because they threw away a couple of years. Okay, their team, Portland's tanking this year in basketball. Lots of teams do that. The Mavericks just do it more blatantly, and it looks worse. And we've got a generational talent. We have a guy that may go down as one of the top 20 players ever in the NBA. Luka Doncic is incredible. I'm not sure he can lead a team. He's still a kid. He's pretty immature in a lot of ways. And, the people that could help him, that had some maturity around him, are gone. Boban, if you keep up with the NBA, great guy who really set some maturity on that team. Got rid of Dorian Finney-Smith, who had a lot of maturity. He's gone. Boy, there's not much maturity. And frankly, if you want to be real honest, man, it looks like the Mavericks are desperate. We're chasing anything. We make wild trades trying to get somebody that maybe can salvage something and panic that Doncic may leave, and he kind of drops hints that he may, and so they overreact and they make trades that aren't well thought through, probably. Desperation. And maybe it all comes back to the leadership. Maybe the whole problem is Mark Cuban. Now, I'm also a Cowboy fan, so I've been around and I've been watching Jerry Jones a long time. Okay, you know what? I'm the guy that says, hey, if you got the money and you buy him, it's kind of your toy. I get that everybody gets mad and everybody feels like the Cowboys, the Mavericks, the Rangers, whoever are theirs. They're not. Mark Cuban's got the money, and if he wants to sit there and say, hey, I like this guy, go get him. I think I'm smarter than this guy, so let's do this. He's not the smartest guy in the room. He thinks he is, but he kind of put the money up so he can kind of do what he wants. Now you're going, okay, I don't care about basketball or Dallas Mavericks. What's the point of all this? Well, I think there's a lesson for churches in this. 3 things I would tell churches to be careful about. One is you've got to have some maturity in your church. I like young preachers. I like young churches. I like churches that are full of young families. But you need some older, mature Christians who have been there, done that, can give guidance, can give help. I get nervous at even large churches with big staffs and all of them are 30 or under. That's nerve-wracking, even 40 and under. You're going, you just say that because you're the old guy. Yeah, maybe that's right. But there's so much in Scripture about listening to the wisdom and maturity of the older people, older women teaching younger women, older men teaching younger men. We don't do that in our church most of the time, and we need maturity, and you need good leadership. Churches will never outgrow their leadership. Boy, if you have an immature staff or you don't have a strong eldership, your church is not going to grow. You won't outgrow your leadership. And then finally, I see a lot of churches who get desperate. Anytime I hear a church start a discussion like this, well, they're going to leave if we don't do so-and-so. Wrong discussion. Whether the thing you're talking about is right, wrong, or indifferent, you're starting that with the wrong discussion. How do we keep them from leaving? Or when anybody threatens, if you don't do, or if you do, I'm going to leave, and you start listening to that, you're desperate. I've watched the Dallas Mavericks with no leadership, no maturity, do desperate things. And they're terrible right now. Don't let your church be like that. Have strong leadership, get some maturity, and don't chase the next great thing out of desperation.